Now I'm going to go ahead and press the button for the 8, the TUL 8M. So see, we've got that. So I'm going to say yes. Now you'll never have to do that again. In the event that somehow this thing restarts some way, that's what you're going to do. And both contra angles are that. So now we've got preset buttons in here. This one says Trunatomy. That's a file system that exists. This one says Wave 1. That is the file system that we're using. This one says ProTaper Next, another file system. ProTaper Universal, and Vortex. All different file systems. These can be reset to anything that you want them to be and renamed as anything that you want it to be. So you are basically going to always be on number 2. The only time that you're not going to be on number 2 is in the event that you are going to use that Orifice opener or some other file system. Number 2 is the only one currently loaded in here that does have the reciprocation aspect, and that is what your file is going to thrive on. So if you are using that SX, the Orifice opener that I talked to you about, you can basically press, why is it not doing, let's see if it, okay. So I guess Wave 1 is causing it to be like, it must be like a sealed, you know, because I can't mess with it. I can't do anything on changing that. You could if I went in and deleted it, but we're going to go to number 1. Manual mode, 400 on the speed. And this is how you can do manual on anything. Let's say doctor is like, oh, this is what I want to use for this, then you can just give him whatever he wants this way. I suggest that we go ahead and preset 1 to 400, 400 for your Orifice opener and label it Orifice opener. So that way doctor goes, my first step, my second step, done, right? Easy. So Orifice opener, can you get me some water? Yeah, okay. So essentially, they're going to go down into the water. I'm going to need the water. It's going to get clogged. So reverse, it's going to take it right out. Forward, it's going to go in, but it's going to get grabby without water. Being plastic, perfect. So I'm going to use this as my fake irrigant. We will go ahead and use our safe tip. So basically, hide my tooth for myself. So they're going to access the canal right away. They're going to get sodium hypochlorite in there immediately. Then they're going to go ahead and establish patency. Patency means they're going to gently pass the apex with their hand file. They're going to possibly decide their length at that point. Recommendation is that they don't do their length until they have opened the orifices up. Let me make sure that I staying on my lingual canal, prepping only my lingual. Okay, so then with an orifice opener, they're going to go in and sweep out. It's really wanting to grab on this one. And sweep away from the furcation. So buccal, lingual, or mesial, lingual, distal. I think I feel weird that I'm being irrigate, recapitulate, meaning just making sure that we're not stuffing any debris past the apex. And then they're going to go irrigate again. Ideally, endoactivate at this point. So go ahead and do that for the sake of it. Where did I hide my little tip for myself? Did we throw it away? These come in packages like this.
I see it over here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, either way. Perfect. Awesome. So these guys just snap on there. They're going to go under the tooth and just give it a little whirl. Just breaking up any debris.
8 seconds?
Just during the filing, just a little bit to just spice it up a little bit. So then they're going to go to their glide path. And this is where they're going to say number 2, right after the orifice opener. So if they had not gained their length at that point, and they would like to do it after their modification of their orifice, they're going to go beep, 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 apex locator. Okay, we're set to, and like I said, I believe that it's best to use these gaugers that are on each and every file. So they're like, okay, 20, perfect, measured off of the lingual. So then at that point, they're going to start with their glide path. You'll notice the noise is different with this. You hear it? So if you have the doctor and he's over there and he's working this glide path, he's going to kiss the apex 3 times that length. And then he's going to come out, clean his glutes, inspect them, irrigate, recapitulate, meaning just barely work themselves at the apex, making sure that we're not forming any blockage. Endo activate. Irrigate. Irrigate, irrigate, irrigate. You cannot, irrigate too much. If you think you've irrigated too much, irrigate 3 times more. So then we're on our last file. Remember, we're going to work this one in thirds. And you don't have to worry about this one going too deep because it's actually significantly shorter. It's called an SX19 because it's only 19 millimeters. So then now we're going to go ahead and start working our file. And we're going to go away from the furcation. Mesial. It's getting so slippery. Lingual. Distal. This file is actually designed to be a orifice modifier as well, but it's not a great one because it is so long. But you can sweep on the outskirts and it will do a very similar action. I don't recommend removing your orifice opener for this one though. Are you able to see that? Oh, it's getting so slippery. Here we're working our way, checking our flutes. Irrigate, recapitulate. Yep, we're getting lots of debris. I usually have like a pretty lame block for this. It's usually just a simple little jig block. Irrigate, endo activate. Whatever pattern of that you want to go through, you're more than welcome. So now I'm going to go to my apical third. So I just did my initial third, second third, now apical third. So now I'm going to go down to my 20 reference point of my lingual. And I'm just going to, and see that noise? I kind of try to force it. That's your secondary insurance plan. So that noise is going to say, ooh, too much stress, and it's going to auto back out. So if a doctor does that and he's in a situation where he, let's say, can't remove it like me right now since it's so slippery, I'm just going to go to reverse and it'll slide right out. Okay? No stressing the canal. Check, make sure, okay, it wasn't a file thing. File looks good. At that point, I do say, just go ahead and make sure we don't have anything causing you to do that. Nope. The apex is still free. All right. Let's get out whatever's in there. Blockage is 90% of the time why, you get misreadings. Okay? Irrigate. And then let's go ahead and try to work it again. Oh. So slippery. I just went past my apex too. Let's get out of here. Okay. Alrighty, so I just went past my apex just now, so I'm not going to file anymore just because for the sake of fitting the cone right now. So now here is like you have you have, that much more sodium hypochlorite. We're recommending 5 milliliters per canal. You're just going to go ahead and just dump all that in there, get it all out of there. Passive irrigation, still recommended. And then here's where you're going to endoactivate for that 30 seconds at least. Ideally it's 90 seconds, but we all agree that's way too long. As you can see, there's the same guide there for your length. So you're going to go your 20, just swirl away. Some people ask me, do I do this? Honestly, you don't have to. It's like an electric toothbrush. You just set it there and let it do its job, but sometimes you feel like you're needed, so then you go like this. Either way, as long as you're not pushing this thing past the apex, you're going to be just fine. This is going to give you a beep when it's at 30 seconds. At this point, the assistant's getting ready for obtration. She's getting her paper points, her gutta percha, she's getting her sealer, maybe she's moving some stuff out of the way. And then at this point, you're going to irrigate with your EDTA, chlorhexidine, give it another whirl. And then this is just like you would etch, at 15 seconds, whatever you'd like to do. All right, now we're ready to dry. And then you're drying with your paper points. We can do it for the sake of the demo. Again, I think we should preload this, but otherwise this is how it comes. Same thing. Not every paper point's the exact same. This one is going to fit our file, or our shape that we've created with our file, perfectly into the tooth. The other thing that's very nice about these is they do have the same sizing, and we're working off of the same sizing chart. Just like I talked to you guys about weighing yourself on different scales, you're going to get mixed numbers. So you're going to go ahead and dry. 20 lingual. 20 lingual. One more. So, currently, how is the doctor placing the sealer? Are you putting it on a pad? Dipping the master cone? Okay, not injecting it into the tooth? Okay. Either way, it's fine. I've heard both recommendations. So at this point, you got on the pad. We're going to go ahead and measure. This is where, this is kind of fun because you got it at your 20. What do you call that block? I will have to double check on that. I don't remember what the official name is for it. So you've got it at your 20. Or the doctor could do this, or I saw that you guys had the ring, basically 20 right there. Dip it into the sealer. When you're doing cold lateral, it is recommended to kind of be, generous with the sealer. If you're doing other obtration systems, they're recommending kind of less sealer, because sometimes that sealer can cause a barrier between your, so we're going to go ahead and seed our cone. And for me, currently, I'm going past the apex, right? Because I let my file go way out of there. Okay, now what do I do? How do I mitigate through this? Well, you could do the one thing that I talked to you about. You can clip the tip at this point. And right here, we have our full shaping is still matching. We have good tug back, we're good there. Or at that point, maybe you want to go up a size if you felt like your flutes didn't have any debris on them. So like I said, as the doctor is doing this, he's inspecting his file, making sure that he has perfect wind, not stretching, not anything. If you see stretching or unwinding, that's the next step to separating the file. So try to not, even if you're like, I just have a little bit more, that's kind of, let's go ahead and get a new file. A separating file is like the worst day in endo. So, but the other thing that he's checking is as, and I keep saying he just because like I have a doctor in mind when I'm talking, but the initial part, he should have his flutes be loaded here. The middle part, his flute should be loaded here. Lastly, the flute should be loaded here. If we have loaded flutes here and here, great, keep going. But if we don't have it here, that means step up a size. If we have it here, but we're just not getting to the apex, that means step down a size. Otherwise, we're always starting on the primary, and 80% of the time, this will be the only file that you need. So there's that. Assistant takes the image of the root canal. The root canal looks great. Doctor's happy with the root canal. He's going to sear it off, and he's going to do his backfill technique, or I don't know what they're going to do. They may just sear it off, pack it down, and be done with it. It's a very common way of doing it these days. The technique over there is very, it's challenging. So both are kind of used, you know, and then we also have gutta corn. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. That is you get that same 3D fill, but it would be a carrier base. But the nice thing about the carrier base, and this is for any of you guys if you ever go anywhere else, is that ultimately it's 100% gutta percha now, where you might have forgot thermofill or some other type of plastic carrier, 100% gutta corn. So prepping for post, retreats, everything will be the exact same. So we have 3 different obturation styles. This, using the down pack with this, or gutta corn. But essentially, this is what we're going to be doing in your guys' office right now.
Is the gutta corn large?